But before we begin, I believe it's important that we quickly acknowledge the Athletics Hall of Famers who are actually here with us today. We're so excited that they're back on campus. When I call your name, if you can stand or if you can give a quick wave so that we can acknowledge you with a very short burst of applause, that would be fantastic. A winner of 5 conference baseball titles as our head coach, including our first ever Commonwealth Coast Conference Championship, Andy Andrade. There we go. Thank you, Andy. A short burst. I like it. A former basketball conference player of the year and the tennis team's #1 player in both singles and doubles, Aaron Bradley. Aaron, where are you? The school's very first full-time athletics director and actually the founder of many of our current varsity programs, Dr. Paul Cardoza. Paul. A multi-year baseball All-American both in the classroom and on the field, fresh off a College World Series berth as our current head coach, Eric Cirella. The very first women's basketball player to record over 1,000 points and 1,000 rebounds in her career, Carrie Martin. This is great. Even as a student, he was the driving force behind the founding of our Salve ice hockey program, its former goaltender, Jim Nelson. And staying on the hockey front, an NCAA record holder for most saves in a career with over 3,200 of them. Our former women's ice hockey goaltender, Kristen Slusowitz. Kristen. And a 3-time gold medal winner in weightlifting at the Junior Pan American Championships, amongst many other things, Jerry Willis. So thank you once more for returning to Salve and for joining us here today as we extend the family, so to speak. It's an honor to have you all back with us. Now, to help us begin the formal festivities, it is my honor to introduce our university president, Dr. Kelly Armstrong. Let's give her a warm welcome. Come on up. And we'll dance. Here we go.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sean. Can you hear me okay? Thank you, Sean, for that kind introduction, and thank you all for being here to celebrate the 15th class in the Salve Athletics Hall of Fame. And in the room today, we have our wonderful Hall of Fame inductees, former and present. We have alumni, coaches, and I'm especially happy to see some of our student athletes here as well. And welcome to the family and friends of our Hall of Famers, here to celebrate with them this really special honor. A few of you may know that my dad is a baseball coach and coached his whole adult life up until when he turned 80. He's 85 now. And though he had 4 daughters and not one of them with any athletic talent, the first, no athletic talent, especially me, baseball was essentially a 5th sibling in our house. It was so important to him, and we grew up with players constantly at our home, and our family spent countless hours by the side of the field, supporting the central passion of his life. A couple of weeks ago, he received a call from his school letting him know that he had been nominated to the Athletic Hall of Fame. And I now have a new, and I think a deeper appreciation and understanding of this award through his eyes. Because I understand how it represents a certain kind of dedication, a depth, that is difficult to find words to capture. And so I am particularly honored to be part of this very special ceremony for our inductees today. Our athletics programs represent many of the best aspects of the Salve education. Student athletes are leaders on the playing field, in the classroom, and across campus. Sports brings us together as a community, as we cheer on our Seahawks and share the feeling of pride when they win, but also lift each other up when the going gets tough. Just this week, I attended football, volleyball, soccer, and field hockey games, and I look forward to hockey and basketball this winter, lacrosse, baseball, and softball in the spring. Each time I am privileged to attend a game, I meet parents, alumni, students, and fans, each with their own connection to Salve, and I am reminded of the contribution that athletics make to our special immersive community. This year's Hall of Fame class, made up of 4 athletes and a coach, who is also an athlete, I know, has some incredible achievements, and I know we will hear more about them soon, but just to give you a quick snapshot of their accomplishments. 2 honorees are actually 2 sport athletes, so actually the class represents 6 different sports. Our Hall of Famers have between them multiple conference championship appearances and actual championships. Our Hall of Famers have honors such as All-American, CCC Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and have achieved All-Star status. Our Hall of Famers are top scorers in hockey, basketball, field hockey, and lacrosse, and our Hall of Famers have set records as a teams. Everyone in this room is a supporter of our Salve athletic programs, and for that I am so grateful. You likely know that about a year ago, we launched a comprehensive fundraising campaign for Salve called Our Mission, Our Moment, and athletics is a top priority of this campaign. We are making investments in our fields, in locker rooms, and equipment, and most importantly, in our people, and our coaches, and our athletes. And we want to continue the legacy of excellence that's set up by today's inductees and many others before them. I hope you will join me in supporting today's athletes by taking part in this campaign, Salve Seahawks Take Flight, which began just a few days ago. So, to our newest Hall of Famers, to Matt, Lindsay, Rachel, Abby, and Steve, I am so looking forward to hearing more about your accomplishments and your Salve experiences. And to our student athletes in the room, I hope you will draw inspiration for your own athletic goals and your lives ahead from the stories that will be shared today. So thank you all so much for being here and for supporting Salve. Go Seahawks.
Thank you very much, President Armstrong, for your warm words and, of course, your ongoing support of the student-athlete experience here at Salve. And now I get the dubious honor, I get an absolute honor to introduce the MC of our induction ceremony. It is a real pleasure to introduce the individual who so eloquently tells your story. The longest tenured member of our athletics department. Ladies and gentlemen, he absolutely deserves a warm welcome. Our Director of Athletics Communications, Mr. Ed Habershaw.
I'm not going to cry yet. It is right at this time of the program that usually I'm required to give the sportsmanship statement. And I think we're in good hands. Thank you very much. Embracing the future, preserving the past. That's what brings us here today. Since 2018, when we inducted Erin Phillips Bradley, among 3 others, Lynn Sheedy, Tom Faria, and Jay Brule, we've been featuring the former Seahawks reporters in a 3-minute montage. This is our 4th class of inductees since then, and the first since 2022. Some footage is originally black and white, while others may have had the effect added for nostalgia. Enjoy watching the screens.
Scoreboard says 4 seconds to go. They're going to give Ryan Sonberger, who will kick barefoot, a chance to win this ball game. I snap. Here's the kick. It's a hard kick, and it is good! Ryan Sonberger kicks a field goal on the last play of the game and wins it for Salve Regina.
And for the 4th time in program history, the Salve Regina Seahawks are Commonwealth Coast Conference champions.
Everybody Park that Saturday afternoon on October 5, 1996, was a young man from Middletown, Rhode Island, whose pass protection and run blocking put the Seahawks in position for that dramatic win over Bentley. Now, some locals don't get off of Quidneck Island too often, but Matt Kestler and his teammates reached Schenectady, New York for their first ever postseason appearance after finishing the 1996 regular season undefeated. 2 years later, we welcomed Plymouth State to Tepper, and Kestler and his teammates triumphed over the Panthers 36-6. Matt and his fellow teammates on the offensive line typically don't get a lot of the glory. They're the guys in the trenches, regularly doing the dirty work, which means they're an equipment manager's nightmare when it comes to games like the 10-0 shutout at Assumption College in 1997. And you see Matt with Brian Stabile and the late George Greenman with those muddy uniforms. Accolades did come to number 73 and included 3 times as all-conference, all-ECAC recognition as a senior when he was also a captain. His first coaching experience came with the 1999 squad that went to Plymouth, New Hampshire for its 2nd straight bowl appearance. Oh, and he was also a pitcher first baseman on a pair of conference championship winning baseball teams, 93 and 94. Under Hall of Fame coach Andy Andrade, which included the program's first postseason appearance. His post-Salve career includes coaching state championship teams in baseball at Rogers High School and football at Middletown, where he succeeded former head coach, the late Art Bell. And currently on Matt's staff at Middletown, he has a pair of Seahawk alumni, Max Yates, Sam Capadese, and Jeff Wright. Let's bestow one more honor on our Islander. Please welcome our 64th inductee into the Salve Regina Athletic Hall of Fame, Matt Kestler.
Thank you, Ed. 3 minutes we got here, and I'm a coach now, so that can be challenging, as all the coaches in the room know, but I'll do my best here. Was not thinking I might get emotional here, but watching that video, it certainly brings up the emotions and the memory. So thank you, Ed, for that, and thank you to Emily in your office for helping me relive so many great memories as we talked about my time here as an athlete. Congratulations to all the honorees here today. I had a chance to read each of your bios in the upcoming weeks here, and just honored to be part of such a special group. Unbelievable accomplishments, and I just feel so honored to be with you here today. Helping me celebrate here, I have my family with me. Like Ed said, I have a good friend of mine now who's a Salve graduate, Max Yates, who's helping me coach my son and daughter, Olivia and Braden, my mom, and my Nana, my wife Shannon, my nephew RJ, my family, my brothers and sisters, their spouses are here. So thank you for supporting me here, and I'm honored to have you guys here with me. My mom and my Nana are here. They never missed a home game. Even most of the road games, I think the only ones they may have missed was like Frostburg State, which is in Maryland. But otherwise, they were always there. Mom always made sure I was well fed before any game. And Nana had a magician context about her when it came to getting all the mud and the grass stains out of my uniform, because that was well before the time of all the turf fields that we now enjoy. We continually played on grass, and I always had the cleanest uniform every Saturday morning. Coach Andrade is here as my baseball coach at the time. Coach, you were 99.9% of the reason that got me to Salve Regina University, so I thank you for that. He was very persistent in his recruitment. I was headed elsewhere, and he gave me a chance to play baseball here and ultimately become a two-sport athlete. So I thank you for that, because I give you a large majority of that credit. Wouldn't be standing here today if not for my teammates who have become lifelong friends. To this day, we have Facebook groups, text chains, where we keep in touch. We share news with each other, about each other's families. Most of the time, just sharing memories, lots of laughs. We were successful because we were very close. I say still to this day that close teams win close games. And that's what we were. We played for each other. Letting the team down was not an option. We practiced hard and with great intent. Our coaches instilled a strong work ethic, never surrender attitude that we took very seriously. We played with a giant chip on our shoulder at all times, because no matter how many games we won, we were still called the girls' school who started football. However, that usually subsided somewhere early in the second half when we started to pull away in most games. I was able to become a part of many firsts for the Salve football program, which I'm incredibly proud of, and to see what it has become today under Coach Gill and all the amazing players that have come through here gives myself and all my teammates tremendous pride. In closing, I know that my father, Larry, who worked here for over 20 years, and although he started out to graduate, after I graduated, which is incredibly unfortunate because I missed out on the free tuition aspect of that, nevertheless, he had a love for all things Salve, especially the football program, my poppy, Bob Flick. And I know they're here today in spirit, and I'm sure they're smiling. And thank you very much.
Well done, Matt Kestler. He joins former teammates Justin Hackley, Mark DiBiasio, Scott Kopecky, Jay Brule, among now 8 football players in the Hall, and likewise Hackley, Kopecky, and now Kestler are among 11 baseball players in the Hall. Congratulations, Matt. Again, we're going to save Steve for last. Loop it. Here we go with a multiple sport athlete in high school. Lindsay Shorey Johnson decided to dominate on the hardwood during her time at Salve Regina, a key part of 3 conference championships for the Seahawks, even as a freshman. She helped seal a victory on the road. In fact, 3 straight road wins for Corey Hughes' 5th-seeded Seahawks. When the Gulls of Endicott College were forced to foul late in the title match in Beverly, Massachusetts, Lindsay Shorey calmly sank free throw after free throw to assist in cutting down the net for the first time. Her junior year was plagued by a broken collarbone, but nonetheless, it did not stop the lanky Seahawk from earning another all-conference selection and a 2nd CCC title. Corey Hughes had a not-so-secret weapon off the bench while easing Shorey back into the lineup. Coach's nomination also remarked on Shorey's unparalleled sportsmanship. And while it was no surprise to me after watching her for 4 seasons, I told Lindsay the video footage that I scoured before today for the ceremony could have produced an endless reel of her displays of sportsmanship, automatically helping a player to her feet, opponent and teammate alike. I guess opponents took this as an invitation to drive to the basket against her. Yet while she would lend a hand to anyone, she would first swat away their shot. Lindsay set Salve Regina records for blocked shots in the game, 14 single season, 117 as a senior, when she finished ranked 9th in the nation. In her entire career, still on top, 313. The Ashlyn Clocker came to Salve Regina for education first. While averaging 18.3 points per game in the postseason, over 8 rebounds and nearly 8 blocks a game, Shorey attended her night class on campus when her teammates were traveling to Pennsylvania for their first-round NCAA action. Her dedication included getting herself to Wilkes-Barre to produce a stat line that was just 1 block away from a triple-double. Lindsay finished her career as the program's 5th leading scorer all time, and her block shots record still stand after a dozen years. Please welcome the 65th person to be inducted to the Salve Regina Athletic Hall of Fame, Lindsay Shorey Johnson.
No steps needed.
Right. Thank you to everyone that was able to put on this event today. It's an incredible honor, and thank you to everyone here. I would not be here today without the unwavering support of my family, my teammates, and my coaches. My parents supported me and came to nearly every game, maybe only single digits they missed. My coaches always knew how to push me and make me the best player I could be. And my teammates and my roommate became my best friends that I'm still so close with today, and a few of them are here today. Basketball has taught me so much and shaped my life in many ways. It taught me resilience and helped me create lifelong friendships. I am so lucky that I was able to play on such a successful team with so many great players who are also in the Hall of Fame. It's such a great honor to join so many of my former teammates in the Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Congratulations, Lindsay. As she said, she becomes the 15th women's basketball player to join the Hall, and that includes her former teammates, Allegra Lavoie, Erin Phillips, and Katie Burrell. Let's also recognize the mother of one of our current Seahawks, the first 1,000-point, 1,000-rebound performer in school history, Carrie Curvels Martin. We're going to save Steve for last. Steve, we're going to save you for last. I hope that's okay. So third is somebody who played the sport of ice hockey. Current women's ice hockey head coach David Lund recognizes excellence when he sees it. And even though he never saw Rachel Porter play in person, he knows the numbers she produced as a Seahawk set a high bar that may never be matched. Primarily a defensive player, during her 4 seasons as a Seahawk, the fact that Rachel became the program's all-time leading scorer with 102 points speaks to her ability to help others. A hockey player turned nurse also leads in career assists, 57, and has the best single-season point production in program history. That came during her junior year, 2011-2012, with 17 goals, 16 assists for a combined 33 points. Porter is tied for second most games played in history, 104. In 2012, she was honored as the New England Hockey Writers Association All-Star at defense and is a 2-time first-team All-Conference selection. That came in 2012 and 2013. While she credits her mom, Roberta, for getting her to 4 a.m. practices and countless other sacrifices, her younger sister served as a target practice goalie that fueled Rachel's passion for the game. That passion fueled the Seahawks to 49 victories during Rachel's time on the St. George's Ice and beyond, while Porter remains tied for the program's most game-winning goals with 9. She got the job done on the penalty kill situation as well, with a program best 5 shorthanded goals. With an attitude of whatever, whenever you need me, Rachel Porter allowed her head coach, Michael Cox, to be ever so flexible with his lineup, and her steadfast goaltenders, Rebecca Simmons and Allie Muehlbrunner, played with utmost confidence during one of the most successful stretches in program history. Please welcome the 66th person inducted into the Salve Regina Athletic Hall of Fame, number 8, Rachel Porter.
I just want to take a quick minute to thank the people who got me here today. First, I want to thank the people at Salve Regina, including Dr. Kelly Armstrong, Dr. Sean Sullivan, Ed Habershaw, and a special thanks to the current women's ice hockey coach, David Lund, for the nomination. Salve created a welcoming and supportive space where I was able to grow and thrive as a person and an athlete. Secondly, my teammates. I couldn't have done this without you. From when I was 4 years old, through high school and college, to my current days as travel team, thank you for your inspiration and encouragement to help me shape who I am on the ice. And lastly, to my mom and my family. From a very young age, ice hockey has been my passion. And no matter how early the morning practice or how late the game, my mom was always right there to be my biggest cheerleader. My stepdad, Jerry, stepped up as a coach one too many times, and as my little sisters who had no choice but to play with their Barbies in the cold rinks and be the victims of my target practice. I would not be here without you. It is truly my honor to be standing up here today. My experience at Salve Regina is still something I carry with me today, and I feel incredibly grateful to know that I will always be a part of the history being made here. Thank you.
Congratulations, Rachel. She does become just the second women's ice hockey player to join the Hall. We've already recognized Kristen Suslowitz. Let's do it again, who graduated in 2005. Kristen became the first NCAA goalie to reach over 3,000 career saves. Oh, we're going to save Steve for last. Almost there, Steve. Almost there. We're going to save you for last. Never last is Abby Tepper. As a two-sport captain, Abby Tepper was a competitor that displayed that on the practice and game field, says her coach in both field hockey and lacrosse, Jennifer Foster. Coach Foster was a big reason why Tepper chose Salve Regina, since Jen encouraged her to keep playing both sports. And when Foster shifted to only field hockey, that gave Abby a chance to show her new lacrosse coach, Bill Villarreal, she can continue to play both. The competitiveness, work ethic, and drive got her a single-season scoring record of 30 goals, 68 points in 2015, and a 1.36 goals per game for a fourth-place rank in the nation. Tepper was named to the NFHCA Division III First Team New England East Region and capped her career as a 2015 CCC Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year. She did play defense, though. She was a little bit like Rachel. Would play defense. She had arrived on the scene in 2012 as the conference's Rookie of the Year. She currently ranked second in the Seahawk record books in the all-time points and goals, and in first in game-winning goals. She led the lacrosse team in draw controls in her junior season. Kestler and her teammates, including an 8-member senior class, enjoyed their most successful season to date in 2015 when they finished 17-5 to earn a trip to the ECAC postseason. The 4-1 loss at Smith College that November made yesterday's first ever win over the Pioneers in field hockey that more satisfying for our currently undefeated Seahawks. 8-0, 2-0 in the new MAC. The Salve Regina RIAI-AW Distinguished Student Athlete recipient in 2016, Tepper's competitiveness did not end with graduation. Her pursuit of a teaching degree and its accompanying profession was primarily motivated by her desire to pursue coaching as well. And Tepper has continued to coach both sports. While at Westchester University, Tepper was on the staff that was named the NFHCA Division II Coaching Staff of the Year and won a Division II National Championship. She earned her master's degree there and now coaches at Division I Women's Lacrosse as an assistant with Merrimack College. She'll always be a Seahawk for life no matter where she's coaching or teaching. Please welcome the 67th person to be inducted into the Salve Regina Athletic Hall of Fame, Abby Tepper.
Ed, thank you for that introduction and your kind words. A very special congratulations to my fellow inductees, Matt, Lindsay, Rachel, and Steve. I'm very honored to be in the company of such amazing athletes and a coach that has contributed a great deal to our university. Thank you to the Hall of Fame Committee for gracing me with this distinguished honor. Coach Foster, I would not be standing here if it weren't for your faith in me and giving me the opportunity to play both field hockey and lacrosse at Salve. Coach Villarreal, your optimism and belief in me as a lacrosse player and leader paved the path for my success. To my parents and family, words cannot express the gratitude I have for your endless love and support from my involvement in youth sports, high school sports, and college games. Always available as my Uber, constantly bringing my cleats that I forgot, and never missing an opportunity to cheer me on, despite not always knowing what was even going on in the games. I have dedicated my life to the sports that I love, and you have never wavered in your support for my passions. You gave me pregame pump-ups and postgame debriefs. To my brother, our shared beliefs in the power of mental toughness and mindset training have helped keep my head focused in the right direction always. To my sister, thank you for always keeping me grounded and making sure I knew not to take things so seriously. To my teammates, an individual in these sports can only do so much as their teammates allow. This is as much a tribute to you, and I am eternally grateful for having the opportunity to play by your sides for 4 years. There are many seasons of life that have tremendous impact on shaping you into the person that you become. I can say with absolute certainty that Salve Regina field hockey and lacrosse have had an immense influence on shaping the life I lead today. I can remember distinctly in the spring of 2012 seeing Coach Foster on the sidelines of a Foxborough High School lacrosse game where we played on a grass field behind a state hospital. I was in disbelief that a college coach, of whom I already committed to playing for, was showing up just to show her support. The unwavering belief in me as a player inspired me to not only work to make the team and not get cut, but to commit to you, the team, and the university that I would strive to make an impact during my 4 years. Coach Foster not only showed her commitment in the recruiting phase, but further provided an environment that instilled the belief that I could actually be the best I could be. Coach accepted my large freshman class to show off our competitive sides, as we begged to compete freshmen versus everybody. It was this method that forged the unity for my senior class and led to our 17-5 season. 8 total seasons of athletics at Salve have taught me so much and molded me into who I am today. I learned to be grateful for the experiences in such a gorgeous town and to embrace the everyday beautiful opportunity to go to class while overlooking the water. I learned the importance of being where your feet are and how quickly 4 years can pass. I learned that the stress of school, sports, and social life are little in comparison to what is going on in the rest of the world. But being able to manage that stress has trained me to take on the rest of life's challenges. I learned the value of appreciating opportunities and the importance of taking advantage of them and always giving your all. I learned the importance of forming strong relationships with people who make you a better person. I'm grateful to still have those relationships with my teammates 8 years later. Having the opportunity to reflect on my time here, my hope is to inspire the next generation of athletes and beyond. My time at Salve has led me to a life of coaching. Having the opportunity and awesome responsibility of shaping a new generation through the life lessons taught by sports. It all started at Salve, and I'm so grateful to be here once again today. I always knew and believed I would be a part of Salve for life. I'm certainly beyond thrilled to receive this honor, cementing my place at the school I love. I'm proud to forever be a Seahawk.
Folder, in his own words.
Save the best for last.
Here we go. It's time for Steve Cirella. And not just Steve. Let's talk about Abby one more time. Abby Tepper becomes the 4th former field hockey player, including Nicole Johnson, Michaela Giblin, and Kelly Burke, and just the 2nd women's lacrosse player, Kelly Burke, to join the Hall. Congratulations, Abby. Now, folks, we have the head coaches of Salve Regina Baseball for the last 40 years, all here at Ochre Court. That's 3 people. Andy Andrade, inducted in 2019, hired Steve Cirella as an assistant coach in 1997. Steve Cirella recruited his son, Eric, who was inducted as a player in 2011. Together, they have produced 857 victories, most of them from the man in the middle, 318 during Steve's 14-year stint as the head coach. His impact goes way beyond the box scores. The 2 conference championships, the 7 finals appearances, the first 2 NCAA appearances for the program, 3 times CCC Coach of the Year, 4 All-Americans, 4 Academic All-America, dozens of conference, player, pitcher, rookie, scholar of the year winners, all region performers, and record setters. Sky Alexander set an NCAA record with 22 strikeouts in a game in 2001, while Damian Cosentino was in the early stages of a record-breaking hit streak that crossed over 3 years and brought the program to Legends Field in Tampa after Damian bested Robin Ventura's 15-year-old mark and reached 60 games. Eric, similarly, reached base safely via hit, walk, hit by pitch, catches interference for an NCAA record 104 consecutive games. Steve, your care and compassion for Damian has not only the stress of dealing with national media attention for his baseball accomplishments, but coinciding with his dad's failing health and eventual death later in 2003 was beyond exemplary. You blessed Salve Regina with 3 children playing sports for the Seahawks, Rachel on the volleyball court, Eric and Stephen in baseball. And you were there for Stephen's first communion in 2006, when the Seahawks were competing at Curry for a conference championship. Family. You've blessed us as well with your wit and humor. I know my athletes, when I was coaching tennis, were big fans of Steve Cirella and your coaching style. You will tell us you are blessed with great players and great people. I am blessed to call you friend. Thank you for being you. Please welcome the 68th person to be inducted into the Salve Regina Athletic Hall of Fame, Coach Steve Cirella.
Thank you for taking out paper. The other 3 people, millennials, use their phones. I'm with you, I'm a paper guy. And the only person to wear glasses today. Ed, thank you so much. We do, and we have known each other a long time. Our offices were very close together. We spoke on many subjects. Did you know that Ed Habisher in a former life was a radio disc jockey? Bet you none of you people knew that. We speak about music, talk about music, and there's one song from one of his favorite bands that he didn't know existed, and it was a song called Fire on High by ELO. And I always throw this at him when I see him, because I could never stump him with any of the songs that he knew because he was a disc jockey. But thank you for that introduction, Ed. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame Committee for this prestigious honor. Congratulations to the other inductees, Lindsay, Rachel, Abby, Matt. You all deserve to be here, and I'm honored to be going into the Hall of Fame with you. You play to win the game. We hear this all the time. You play to win the game, especially when you get to the college level of athletics. After leaving Salve 7 years ago, I began to reflect on the type of coach I was and what I had accomplished. In those 20 years at Salve, 3 years as an assistant to Andy Andre, 14 years as head coach, and 3 years as an assistant to my son Eric. It was easy for me at that time to remove myself as the head coach. The game was changing. I had come to a point in my life when being the head coach wasn't fun anymore. And it was my time to move on. I know I left the program in great hands with Eric as the head coach because of his incredible baseball IQ and his unrelenting desire to win every single game. It's funny, his grandmother, my mother, always said he was so smart, he should have been a doctor. Little did he know, or did anybody know, that Eric would gag at the sight of blood. After I left coaching, I began to think about the players and parents that had came through my program. I realized that it wasn't about winning the game, but the effects I had on my players' lives who played for me. Did I do them justice? Did I teach them anything about life and how to prepare for life? It was the players who many times taught me to be the coach that I was. But the saddest memories for me are having to tell my players that one of their relatives passed away when they were in Florida, or having to send them home to get home for a funeral in Florida. And I'll thank Vinny and Donald in a few minutes about that, because they were the ones that would drive those players to the airport. One of my players did pass away, Brendan Tapley. A few years after graduation, he passed away. The most difficult time for me. The wake was awful because Tim and Pat, his mom and dad, were the most wonderful individuals you'll ever want to meet. They just lost their only child. Brendan came a long way from his freshman year as a student. He was ineligible because of grades. But when he graduated with over a 3.0 GPA, and he was my starting catcher. Brendan was the type of player who would make jokes and keep the team loose because of his wit. And sometimes he went overboard when making jokes. One day, while he was jogging backwards and he was late for practice, he had this big smile on his face. And I was in a real bad mood. I yelled at him. I said, "Get your butt in line." Not quite the words I said. Why are you late, I asked him. And he just looked at me. Most of my players would have run to the line and start stretching. But Tapley looked at me and says, "What's the matter, coach? You need a tampon?" It wasn't funny. In fact, I got furious. But then again, I began to smile because he changed my attitude. My mood changed immediately. I do miss Brendan. I'm extremely happy Eric and his coaching staff found time to put a plaque on the dugout in Brendan's name. Brendan Tapley dugout at third base, which is the home dugout. I tell this story because winning isn't the only reason you coach. Now that I'm retired, I hope to have a positive effect on the players who came through my program, and I thank all of them for making me a better person today. Jay Brulet's here, Hall of Famer, Jeff Wright, Kyle Phelan, 3 of my players. It's a pleasure that you have played for me, and I thank you guys. People I would like to thank, my son Eric, of course. He took over the program when the time was right for me to step down. The Salve baseball program was declining, and I knew with your coaching experience at the Division I level, it was a time for me to step down and to you to run your own show. You have done a great job in your 10 years here as head coach. Last year you made it to the College World Series, which I'm very proud of, and you won 2 games. You've coached several conference championships and you've coached 2 professional baseball players. The greatest accomplishment in your life, though, is you and your beautiful wife, Taylor, giving me Hudson Michael, my second grandson. To Mimi and myself, we are very happy, and that's your greatest accomplishment at this time. Rachel, my beautiful daughter, you're a 3-sport athlete in high school, and you played here, like Ed said, as a setter at Salve Regina. You've become a successful businesswoman. You work for the Navy. You're a proud mom, a loving mom, and you and Nate have given me 2 grandchildren, Casey James and Brody Edward. 2 of my other greatest accomplishments you have given me. I love you so much. And Stephen Jr. Where's my son, Stephen? Raise your hand. Stephen, you are the youngest of my 3 children. You came around later in life. Mom and I planned it that way because Mom and I are getting older and we wanted you to do most of the chores around the house. Seriously, you were a highly decorated decathlete and heptathlete at the University of Rhode Island, winning many gold, silver, and bronze medals. You had the honor of being the first 3-year captain of the track team, which exemplifies your incredible character as a person. You won the prestigious Elizabeth Holmes Award for Outstanding Scholar Athlete at the University of Rhode Island your senior year. Today you work on your doctorate degree with the hopes of providing athletes and helping them with depression and also with issues of performance. Mom and I are so proud of you and we love you. My coaching staff, Danny Smith, played on 4 conference championship teams with Danny Andre. You're the only one of 2 individuals to play on a conference championship, and to coach a conference championship team. You were my hitting coach, and you did such a great job. I know you had to move on. Danny became a firefighter in Portsmouth for 20 years, and now he is back here at Salve in the security department. He's retired and working here. Danny, thank you so much. Bobby Young, you were here at Salve for 20 years as an assistant coach. You were part of 12 conference championships. Think about that. He was a part of 60% of the years he coached here. He was part of a conference championship. I'm so glad you were coaching with me. I was always inspired by your famous speeches every year when the team was going bad. That speech really fired the team up and fired me up. Bobby, thank you so much for being with me. Just mentioned Ryan McCarthy and John Keefe. They were here also coaching with me at a point, both of them part of the 2005 championship team. Donald and Vinny. Wave your hand. Where's Donald? Vinny. There they are. Vinny, I met you 28 years ago, and I can remember trying to talk to you. Tried to strike up a conversation. Your response to me was always a one-word answer. I thought at the time you didn't like me. But it's 28 years later, and I still don't know if you like me. Vinny was the transportation specialist in Florida. Before every game, before GPS, Vinny would go to the field, find the field in Florida, and then we would follow him the next day. Donald, raise your hand. Donald was the food specialist in Florida. They would buy food for us, and it would be healthy food. None of the McDonald's or Burger King. The baseball team ate great food down in Florida. Donald was there, would make sure the boys, coaches, and sometimes the parents ate great meals. Donald and Vinny have been with our baseball program 28 years. They started off with Andy, then they came with me for 14 years, and now they help Eric today with the Florida trip. I don't know where I'd be without you guys down in Florida. And you and I, Donald, Vinny, we've become great friends. Finally, Andy Andre. I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for Andy. Andy called me during the Christmas vacation back in 1999. He was moving on his career, and he knew he was leaving Salve. What Andy did for me is he resigned a couple of days before the start of the 2000 baseball season. So the athletic director had to give me the job. It was a one-year position. I guess I did a good job because he kept me around 14 years. His son Ryan is a proud father. His son Ryan just got drafted by Tampa Bay, and he's a pitcher with the Tampa Bay Rays. Andy, thank you so much for waiting so long to give that resignation. It's awesome. Finally, my wife, Lori. Lori put up with so much of me being away with Salve Baseball for many years. You never complained, and you knew that coaching made me happy. Our only vacation for those 14 years was when Steven and you came to Florida with the baseball team. Thank you for taking care of me for 32 years. There's no one else I'd rather have next to me in my life as my wife and my friend than you. I love you. Today, I stand here at Salve as Salve's most winningest coach, 318 wins. But by mid-April, head coach Eric Cirella and his great staff of coaches will pass that mark, and he will have the most wins in school history. Eric, there's no one I would rather have break my record but you. I love you. Thank you very much.
I think our inductees deserve a hearty round of applause. It's an absolute honor, to be here and hear all of that very special day. And as we look to wrap up, let's also thank President Armstrong one last time. Thank you for being here. We must also thank Pamela Murchie, Mayor, for all of the logistical support. Thank you, Pamela. And of course, we have to thank the Master of Ceremonies, the historian, Mr. Ed Habershaw. Thank you, Ed. But in having the last word on behalf of the university, I want to once again congratulate Matt, Lindsay, Rachel, Abby, and Coach Cirella on this tremendous career achievement. It's funny, but from time to time when I introduce myself to someone, they say, wow, you're an athletic director. That sounds like a tough job. I don't necessarily know if I'd want to take that on. And at times, like any other role, any other job, sure, there are difficult moments and there are challenging decisions to make, and any job has that type of environment. However, let me tell you what I also get to do. Every so often, when I just happen to be in the right place at the right time, I find myself on the sidelines or in the stands when something truly miraculous occurs, or when someone truly mesmerizing at their craft does what it is they do. I get to witness on a daily basis, pretty much, some of the greatest athletes and coaches in school history exhibit remarkable athleticism, watch them make critically smart decisions, which often turn the tide of a game or even a season. I get to witness some of the most uniquely talented people lead by example, often seeing what needs to be done 4 steps ahead of everyone else. And then boom, off they go and they get it done. They do exactly what is needed in the moment, as Coach Cirella said, to win the game. And then the most remarkable, the very, very few, some are able to rise up even further and dominate not just a particular game or a season, but in some unique cases, the most select few are able to dominate the sport itself and do so for years. While in this case, of course, playing, or in Coach Cirella's case, coaching for the Seahawks, they can exert themselves upon the game in the most overtly visible ways and in the most strategic and subtle ways as well. Again, the best of the best can do this for years. Matt, Lindsay, Rachel, Abby, and Steve, you are without question among the very special few who could do exactly that, transcend your sport. You have helped create a standard that our current Seahawks student athletes, and there are a number of them, including our coaches as well, a number of our current Seahawks, they aspire to attain themselves one day. You have shown our entire community just what is possible when you put the Salve jersey on. You have led us with class, grit, fire, and tremendous dedication. And you have been an inspiration for many. You have given us a tremendous gift. Because of this, allow your community, allow us, your Seahawk family, to welcome you as the newest members of the Salve Regina Athletics Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Good, George?
I've got it, yeah.
We're good?
Thank you.
I think we're good.
You want to do?
Kelly, would you like to get in one?
The one in the middle of the roses here.
All right, guys. Ready? Look in here. 3, 2, 1. One more. 3, 2, 1.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Thank you very much.